Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. I have a special guest. Introduce yourself.
I'm Amani. What you want me to say? Like introduce when I
Tell
do?
them who you are.
Um,
We can make this more of a career video, but kind of like a little debate. I'm really going off the dome right now because one thing I thought about was like, yeah, tell them what you do.
well, I'm a car salesman. Um,
How did you get into that?
I started off by selling phones, and then honestly, I was just on Indeed because the phones was cool, but I was not making as much as I thought I would make. So I just jumped into car sales, and now I'm big dog now where I sell at. So I mean, right now I'm sitting at 13 cars. So eventually, I want to get into you real estate. Ugh, my bad. Selling houses, make big money. You know what I'm saying? The cars is just teaching me how to sell. To people with bad credit, good credit. So
Okay, if you could give like 3 tips for somebody wanting to make a career change, what would you suggest?
I feel like if you're young and you don't have any kids or anything, just take that risk. Cause I mean, that's what I did. I just took a risk. I mean, I have a child. You have a child, but if you want to do something, just do it.
But like, how would they do that? Like, what are the steps that you took, or what made you feel confident? Or
Well, I knew I was good at selling. So honestly, it's not about like how to sell. It's not about like the product. It's about how you sell. So like, I mean, I could sell a house. I could sell a car. I could sell a phone. I could sell anything. It's just, I wouldn't say convincing, but persuading people into buying into the product that you're trying to sell. No matter what it is, you just have to talk the product up and also make that person feel like, you know, they could use this product. Like, for instance, I had somebody that wanted a truck. They couldn't afford the truck, so I asked them like, "What do you need a truck for?" "Oh, I just want to haul stuff, pull some stuff." "Well, why don't you get like an SUV or something like that?" You know what I'm saying? I don't know, stuff like that. It's just figuring out the problem and then figuring out the solution on how to.
so, what do you
Solve
think it takes to be a salesman? Do you think anybody can do it?
I mean, yeah, but you have to be confident in what you do. Confident in what you say. You can't go out there. Like sometimes people be wanting like a $400 payment, and I gotta slap a $700 payment down. But you just gotta be confident. Like, you know what I'm saying? Confidence is the biggest thing in selling. Because if you go out there scared, then your customer is gonna feel that energy. They're not gonna commit to something that you're not confident in. So that, and sometimes you have to let the customer talk, and I don't know, you gotta like give them energy, I guess. Hype them up, I would say, or pipe them up.
Well, what would be like? Okay, so what are 3 suggestions though for somebody? Because selling is not for everybody. I think
Mm-hmm.
that, me personally, I think that is required. Like, either you got it in you or you don't. I don't believe everybody can sell. I
Mm-hmm.
don't believe that everybody's made for just what. Because then you can, again, sales can go across. You started off in telecommunications, and then you went to,
Well, telecommunications is a little different. That's like,
yeah, but still like phones.
well, phones is different because everybody needs a phone and everybody needs a car, but that's obviously a bigger price difference. So with phones, it was just, I would always compare like what kind of phone they had at the time. And then, like some people will be like, "Oh, I need a charger." And then I'll be like, "Okay, what kind of phone you got? iPhone 7? What? That phone is 12 years old. Let me upgrade you." You know what I'm saying? Nah, I ain't got the money. Money don't matter. It just, what's your price range? Blah, blah, blah. They say $60. You got iPhones right now, you can get for $30 out the door. New customers, you know what I'm saying? Like, the problem is they need a charger. But I see in my head they need a phone because that phone is old. You can get a new phone and a new charger. Right?
Well, if somebody that wanted to do a career change, because that's what you did,
Mm.
what would be 3 suggestions that you would give somebody, not necessarily in sales, but just
As a career change,
yeah.
well, I didn't change my career because it still was selling. I just changed.
Yeah, but you kind of like you kind of went up,
Yeah.
but that's not like not necessarily sales, but you still chose to move in a different industry.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, the car industry, but as far as like career change, I didn't have any I just took the risk. It was more of a risk because, in car sales it's commission. There's not like hourly. And like I said, I just felt like I could do it, so I just jumped into it.
Do you see yourself in entrepreneurship?
Yes. Honestly, I see myself starting my own little not clothing, but some type of income on the side. Like I've been looking into other different things like ATM business or food truck. I've done that, looked in that. I don't know. I just would invest my money into something that would make me money back.
Now, you did mention that you are a father.
I am a father.
I am a mother. And I feel like because we're young and we both have kids, he has a son, I have a daughter. They're both the same age. It's the cutest thing. But I feel like nobody talks about, for people like us, it wasn't, we did not plan to be parents, but we still, we still became one. And trying to navigate, how do you navigate that?
Well, I don't have my child as much as you have your daughter, but I make it work. Now, my son, he did slow me down. Not slow me down, but he...
Grounded you?
Yeah, because before I had him, I was out doing some wild stuff, so... I mean, having a kid at this age, like, was it planned? No, but did it, like, set me straight?
What do you think are, sorry not to cut you off, what do you think are, like, the challenges, but what do you think are the perks? Because I feel like it gives you a boost, like it gives you a certain level of level-headedness that a lot of people, or like a different type of strength that most people our age, the stuff that we have to go through or stuff that we have to, like, it does not matter, you gotta figure it out. I think a lot of people will fold, but it's not for everybody. So what do you think?
I think the challenge is me and my son's mom aren't together, so...
You guys co-parent?
Yeah, so she lives in a whole different state, so that's like the biggest biggest challenge on, getting my child. And she just moved to Virginia, so I'm trying to figure that out, But, most people, not most people, but a lot of people wouldn't even try to do anything for their, son or daughter. But I'm still figuring out that part, like how to co-parent with someone that lives in a whole different state.
But career-wise, how do you, what's that balance? Like, what are the struggles? What are the perks? Like, what do you feel like is an advantage?
I mean, I feel like the struggle is I don't get to see my child as much as I want to. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't consider it a perk on not seeing my child, because obviously I would want him here, but my life is not set up right now for him. Like, of course, if something were to happen with his mom or anything, I would have to change everything, you know what I'm saying? But, when we had my son, it was not a planned out thing. So, but the good thing about it is she's cool. She knows that I'm working to get my shit together so we can raise our son together, I guess.
How's fatherhood?
I mean, it's cool. I love my son. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't really have my father, I guess. So I try to be there as much as possible, or do what I need to do instead of ignoring the fact that I have a child. But
how is that for you?
how's what?
Like, not growing up with a father figure and then be having to become one.
I mean, it just shows you what and what not to do. I mean, my dad didn't have his father either, so he didn't have a good example. But I mean, he knows that feeling, so I know that feeling. So why would I want my son to feel the same way? So right now he's young, so it's different now. He doesn't have like any judgment or anything, but you know, I still want to do stuff and eventually have my son. But I don't know. We will have to work that out. Me and his mom will have to work that out because he's mainly with her. But I eventually want to have my son. You know, at least every summer, every holidays. You know, every couple weeks. But I know he goes to school. I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
But,
Do you care to talk about him?
who, my son?
Yeah.
My son. Well, my son has autism.
Talk about that. Talk about like.
I mean, he just keeps me on my toes. He's always running around. He's always getting into stuff, but it keeps me like up and going. Cause sometimes I do get lazy, but when he's around, there's no time for me to sit down, which is cool because it makes me do other things that I need to do. But I mean, having an autistic child, it is a bit of a challenge because right now he can't speak, or he's not speaking. I'm not gonna say can't. But the way he communicates is a way that me and him both understand. I mean, other people understand, like, you know.
Yeah, I understand it.
Yeah. So, but my son is really smart. He knows how to spell. He knows.
Super smart. Super smart. He started
Yeah.
spelling at like 3.
Yeah. Well, he's
2.
Yeah, he started spelling like
2 years old.
probably last year.
What 2-year-old, 3-year-old knows how to spell armadillo?
Yeah, it's not no basic words. Like he's spelling.
Octopus.
Yeah, he's spelling harder.
Words that I don't even know how to spell.
Yeah, so I mean, he knows how to write too. He wrote his name the other day, so that's the cool part, I guess.
Yeah.
But you know, I love my son, so.
Okay. So what other topics I want to get up?
I feel like I'm like rambling around.
It's okay. I'm kind of going off the top of my head because I still wanted to, we have an audience here. So it's a lot of sharing of information. And if you want to be vulnerable, you can. And just kind of sharing insight on your life and how you can help other people because, you're a young father. You have a career. I'm still navigating my career. You seem to have had an easier time finding a job than me. No, seriously, like I feel like my resume look like it's a good resume. It speaks for itself.
But remember what I told you though earlier. It matters about how you set yourself apart because you gotta understand, like, you're not the only one that is trying to apply for that job. So like, what can you say? What can you do to make that person that's interviewing you remember you? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you set yourself apart? And I feel like, when I go to my interviews, I do have those nerves, but I'm very loud and I'm very like in their face when I go and talk to them because you gotta make it not seem, but you have to make them believe that you want that job. Even though probably you don't, you just need to pay your bills. But like, everybody can go to the interview. My bad.
Well, not to cut you off, I'm just a big person about like whether I work for a company, like I feel like it has to be a balance. I'm very big on not wanting to be put in this, like eventually I'm working in corporate America, but it's still like I feel like my mind is so innovative and ahead of, not ahead, but like in the now of just the culture or the work dynamic of what is now. Like I want to be able to put myself in a position where it's not a regular 9 to 5, or it's like I keep it professional. I feel like there needs to be some level of decorum of you don't need to tell your whole life story at the interview table, but I'm going to present myself as my authentic self. Very assertive, but yet, warming. And I feel like the last 2 interviews that I've had, first off, they called me. But hey, that's neither here or there. But I just felt like first one was fine, but the second one just felt a little off, and she just wanted to see my face, but it was just her energy. She didn't seem like she wasn't a bad person, but I feel like the reason why she didn't choose me was because of she wanted to see if I was gonna fit in there, and it's like, it was predominantly
White folks.
And
Honestly, they say
older people, but I could fit in anywhere. But I feel like her looking at me, is she thinking like, oh, she's younger, she's a black girl, like, you know what I mean?
But,
and I don't like I'm a very big person on, even if it is a predominantly
white.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm a big person about like, I'm not trying to fit in where I'm not supposed to fit in,
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I can fit into any environment, but how somebody might have their prejudgments of me, they're probably like, oh no.
Oh, well, I never care.
But that's the thing. I
never
don't care either, and that's why I feel like as many no's as I get, it only pushes me to kind of knowing that I have to create my own brand. It's what I'm doing now. I mean, again, this is the very early beginnings, but that stuff, like, again, and this comes from circling back around, you're a father, I'm a mother, like, it's just, I cannot, if say if it's my child in my position, what are the things that I'm going to tell her or want her to do? So I'm going to tell myself that. Or it's like,
hopefully you don't have to be in this position.
Well, her growing up is going to be a little bit different because she's going to have a different set of opportunities that I never had at her age. But at the same time, it's like, it just pushes me to bet more on myself and create more of myself. I just think in this day and age, it's just not enough to get a job just because the economy and also what I want to do. I don't want to just settle for a job. I just don't want to. I don't want to at all. But for now, I got to get a job. I mean, I got a job, but I need a job that's going to pay these bills. Thanks to you. He's the breadwinner right now. For right now, though.
I mean, I just do what I need to do.
Yeah, you make good money, but
I make decent money.
But for now, I definitely can see you getting in better positions. I mean, for right now, it is. One thing I would suggest to people that are trying to find a career or getting into it is that experience goes a long way. It was even you already had the position because the proof was in the pudding. You showed I was top seller here, and then you just proved that yourself too because now you're top seller now. Exactly. So it just goes to show that,
But you ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to talk or nothing. They be talking so much shit there, And I just be saying, look at the leaderboard because what's the point? Like, so you can talk a big game, but you gotta back it up.
So when do you think you're ready to try in a different industry?
Well, it's the same industry.
Well, okay, sales, yes, you're a salesman.
Really, it's like finance though, because I don't just sell cars. Like I have to understand finance too, because before people, because I work with subprime credit. You know what that is? Subprime. It's like because there's prime credit and those are like 600 plus. Well, technically it's like 650 plus credit scores, and then subprime is like 600 and under. So, like, there's banks that you wouldn't even send people to because they're not prime customers. They will get denied automatically. So, like, I have to know that when I'm, selling a car. I wouldn't send them over to a bank knowing that they don't qualify. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not just, like, selling. Like, it's finance and, interest rate, and I'm learning more about credit. So it's teaching me a lot. It's teaching me more than just like this is a type of job that you can apply to with other things, not just like working at McDonald's or some shit like that. Which I don't discriminate,
You used to work at McDonald's.
I did, and I was a dog there too. Any job I do,
So that's basically what it is. That's one thing. That's a hidden gem that I would say. any position that you're at, you want to be the best.
The
You have to.
motherfucking best.
You
yeah.
can't cut.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My bad. I want to be the best. Yes. It don't matter if it's cleaning up trash. It don't matter if I'm cooking. It don't matter if I'm painting. I'm trying to be the best. Yes. Well, I don't want to be regular.
But that's what sets you apart, and
Yeah.
that's what gets you into doors. So
Yeah.
that's what I was asking. Like, okay, but what? I guess I should have said, what do you think it takes
Well,
to get to that next level?
Yeah.
And I'll ask you this before we close out because we got to wrap this up.
20 minutes? No, that ain't bad.
Yeah, but I have to upload this. What do you think? How many? When are you going to pursue into your next career choice?
When am I? Honestly, because I feel like I'm in my prime right now with the selling, so I don't want to like jump too quick. But I'd say like once I get all my finances and everything together and the money is coming in and I'm comfortable and relaxed, then that's when I feel like I can make a career change. But right now I'm still building, so it would just be a bad idea to leave in the middle of my building process, if that makes sense. Like I don't want to just jump to something else until I feel, comfortable enough to jump. Like the only reason why I left the phone place to go to the car place is because like I've been there for like 7 months and I feel like I wasn't getting any higher. Like I was, but
You know it was time for something more.
yeah, like I just wasn't.
Sorry my video cut out, but we have to wrap that up. Let me know if you want me to have more guests on here because, again, the whole point is to have meaningful conversations. Thank you for tuning in. There will be more. I got to find out my signing out or intro. I'm still figuring that out. But to close this out, thank you for watching. And we will be uploading more soon every Sunday. Thank you.